which is going to bring us to some challengers talk. And this week we might actually be able to say something because we actually found proper source material. So, if you guys scroll up, we're going to start with... Well, let's first and foremost get out of the way. WestR is probably better than most CDL teams. They've won every Challengers Cup. WestR is above and beyond the best amateur team, and we're basically just talking about the rest of the teams as like we're acknowledging they exist.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Because WestR right now, I don't think anyone can beat WestR outside of the Pro League.
Who's on WestR?
Give me 1 second.
Yes, Paulex, Venom, and Gravity.
Yes. Tom, Gravity, Paul X, Zapdius, and Venom. They have won all 4 Challengers Cups, and it has not been close.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, if we scroll up to the Challengers Cup number 4, top 8. We already talked about WestR, they're the number 1 team. 2, well, these aren't really rankings, these are just the top 8 in no particular order. The second team on this list is Parzillion, Rambi, Lamagod, and Perform. Like, that doesn't sound like a bad team. Lamagod, former Pro League player. Parzillion, former Pro League player. Rambi, good S&D player. Perform, not a name I'm familiar with.
Not at all.
Royalty, Dave, Patty, General, Standy, they are the number 3 team, I think, on the leaderboard. They're a solid roster. General, main AR, Royalty's a good player. Standy might be a sub eventually, and then Dave, Patty, solid 4th. I think it's funny that only 2 of the top 8 teams are actually playing under contracts.
This doesn't have New York Subliners Academy on it, because that's Diamond Con, Saints, Pro Loot, and Spark.
They're right here.
I'm talking like on the picture of it where it says top 4. It doesn't have it on there.
Oh, it's just not saying they're part of the team?
Yeah.
Alright, well that is the next team. Diamond Con, Saints, Pro Loot, and Spark. They are one of the 8 teams on here. Now, here's where it gets a little fucky. Who in the hell is this 5th team? Estriel, Littlefoot, Tay, and Lurid?
When I saw Astriel, because there is a Rocket League player named I think Astral. So my brain kind of turned off. When did he switch to COD?
I just don't know anybody on this team. Like, shout out to you guys for being top 8, but I don't know any of you.
I don't know.
I think Lord, I think that's how you pronounce it, whatever, has been in the top 8 before, like prior to them.
Like I said, last year there was not a lot to go on Challengers because there were no streams for it, so there are some people I'll just never know. And this is just one of those teams. Good job on being top 8. I don't know you. Which brings us to Kismet, Pander, Pentagram, and GodRx. This team... I don't think Pentagram. 3 of these guys have been in the Pro League. Kismet... Actually, last year, these guys were on pro teams. Kismet, Pander, and GodRx.
I'm pretty sure they took 3rd.
This team, I expect in the top 8, probably should be top 4.
Top 4, easily top 4.
I don't think... This next team, Jintroid, Parasite, Gunsy, and Glowfrosty, I'm not sure if that's still a team, so we'll come back to them in a second when we talk about the other source material. And then the other 8th team is Machilla, Scrappy, Onyx, and Teskey. I know Machilla, I know Onyx, I don't know Scrappy or Teskey unless Tristan...
Scrappy, but I don't
know
much about him.
Those are the top 8 teams from the last Challengers Cup, and Zapdius, Paulex, Venom, and Gravity won the entire thing. Then if we scroll down, the very last thing I posted, which you already said, Pro Loot, Spart, Saints, Glowfrosty, because they had to call up Diamond Con, that is the New York Academy. Toronto Academy, Insight, Scrappy, Onyx, Teskey, another team that was on that list that's under an organization.
Wait,
Exotic.
Good. So Glowfrosty went from playing with Parasite and Gunsy to being on New York Academy.
That's what we're going to get at, because there's a question mark next to Parasite's new roster, and it's the roster that I heard Doug talking about on his stream, which whenever I found out when Censor, Spoof, Bracken, and Maruze are teaming. Which, let's clear the air on this. Censor gets entirely too much shit on this game. Censor's very good at this game. He has his moments where he has the meathead plays where he makes a dumb fucking decision, but overall, Doug's a good player, especially in this game at least.
I think Doug all around is a good player.
Yeah,
Doug's a good teammate. Doug wants to win. It just falls into the thing where Doug is like me, wherever I'm just very blunt about criticism. And like, I never intend to hurt people's feelings, but if you're gonna be a fucking moron, I'm gonna tell you you're being a fucking moron.
right.
It's just
You gotta respect that as a teammate though, because some people are scared to say certain things to their teammates, right? Listen, you're on a team for a reason. If somebody's doing something wrong, call them out. And if you're called out on something, don't bitch, don't make any sort of argument with it. Just talk with it, see what things you can fix. You know, if somebody tells you to do something, try it. Right? The least you can do is try it. If it fails, it fails. There's nothing you can do.
which is the other thing that people need to understand about scrims is no one's fucking playing scrims to win. You practice, like I've never went to practice trying to win. I go to practice to get better. I go to practice to try new things that might help me in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one gives a fuck about map count in a scrim. Like, yesterday was Sensor, Brack, Spoof, and Emery's second scrim, like, second map of scrimming, and they were losing hardpoints 250 to, like, 160 against, Royalty and crew, who is, Royalty, Dave, Patty, General, and Stan, who was a top 3 team in amateurs, and Doug's chat was just going off on him. I was like, they're getting 160 points against a top 3 AM team when this is their second map. Calm the fuck down.
Right.
Which I guess I'm just going to go on record and say it. Doug, if you ever see this for some reason, you have my support, brother. I see through the bullshit that other people don't want to look past. Because a lot of other stuff people give Doug crap for is how confident he is, and I'm basically like, if you don't think you're the best, why the fuck are you competing?
True.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go into a map thinking, well, I might win this one. I go into a map thinking I'm gonna fucking decimate the enemy. Like, it's a mindset thing. You have to be the hammer, not the nail. Hesitation's a hole in the head.
I think Formal said it best back in World War II. He said, it's good to go into a match, you know, thinking you're going to win. It's not good going into a match thinking you can't lose.
Right.
Basically, I'm gonna spin this in a way that I've phrased stuff like this before. Because on my Twitch stream, I don't remember what game I was playing, there was someone in my stream talking to me about baseball, and I basically told them my philosophy whenever I was playing and my philosophy on how I coach players. I would rather, unless the person they're playing against is like literally the best in the game, the LeBron of whatever they're doing, the Bryce Harper of whatever they're doing, I would rather you pitch to your strengths as a pitcher than try to play around the enemy's weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, be the hammer, not the nail. If your best pitch is your curveball, throw that shit until the other team just gives up and walks off the field. Play to your strengths, dude. Never play around the enemy's weaknesses. That's the best way I can put it, but like I said,
That is a very good way to put it, actually. That needs to get quoted.
it's just, it's... Quote check? Exclamation quote? No? Okay.
Let's have that quote put up. That needs to be in your bio, Tuck. We need to get that printed out.
Dude, it doesn't... I'll put it on a t-shirt next to the, catch this hand and play me on land t-shirt that I never actually put in my shop. But, so we've talked about 4 of these rosters. Sensor gets way too much hate. I don't feel like he deserves much of the hate he gets. He makes bonehead plays. Everyone makes bonehead plays. It's how you recover from them. The confidence never wavers. I can appreciate that. Hoping the best for Doug. Top 6 team, in my opinion, if Spoof and Ruiz can step up to the plate, especially Ruiz. Spoof is good. Ruiz is the question mark on that roster. And speaking of question marks, Aches, Mox, Lacefield, Parasite. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's potentially a team.
Before we turned on the camera, Zoe wasn't here. Aches and Parasite, that team never makes sense to me in any game. Aches might have simmered down in his old age. I still don't think they're going to mesh well. Mox is one of the whiniest players in the league. Mox is a good player. He just whines a lot. Not really a negative. Lacefield is insane. And I mean that literally. He probably should be in an asylum.
I thought you meant insane as in the game, but...
Well, I mean, he was pretty good at BO3, but, like, after... It's also, just side note, because BO3 champs with Aches and Lacefield beating OpTic, one of the most heartbreaking moments, but also one of the best moments in esports ever, is Aches and Lacefield just screaming at the crowd. Aches cupping his hands around his ears and yelling at the crowd that he can't hear them. One of the most heartbreaking moments, but I'll be damned if that picture of Aches yelling at the crowd isn't like etched in my memory as like an awesome moment.
You know, it was a minor setback for a major comeback because they did end up winning champs next year finally, and it was one hell of a show.
It was. As stupid as it is to say and as unpopular as an opinion it might be, from person who like edits videos and stuff, Hitch got handed his videographer of the year award based on the storyline that OpTic Call of Duty set up for him. They lost on purpose to set Hitch up for the victory.
Oh,
1000%. Oh, if Crossroads doesn't happen, Hitch doesn't win videographer of the year. That's probably not true. Hitch is amazing at his job, but Crossroads.
no, Hitch is very good at what he does, though.
Crossroads is one of the best videos on YouTube. Between Maniac and the COD team losing, and then the announcement at the end, because I think that's the same video they announced OpTic Halo. Oh, it was the same video because fucking Nick retired. True. That dude, there's just that video's so fucking good, even though it makes me so sad.
The beginning, how it's set off, just the OpTic gaming banner, and then Formal with his head in his hands, the chair. You knew it was going to be emotional.
Listening to Vision and Chill whenever Hitch was describing the very opening scene of Nick walking into the chair, and whenever the door slammed shut, the audio stopped. I was like, huh. You know, now that you mention it, that was good. Dude, I just can't put into words. It's amazing how the most emotionless player in OpTic has led for some of the most tear-jerking moments. Fucking Maniac, dude. The most emotionless player in the entire organization. Whenever he retired, not a single dry eye. Whenever they announced him as their substitute last year, whenever they bought his contract from Florida, same story.
Right.
He's made me cry more than someone without emotion should make me cry. Also, English, I can speak it. Fellow Marylander. He's from Hagerstown, which is 45 minutes east of me.
Shit.
And then Ogre 2 is also from Maryland. Not saying anything, we just breed fucking champions here, brother.
Fair.
But,
I mean, Slack's 45 minutes away from me.
I said champions. I'm just kidding, Slack is one. Then the last team on this roster, Sib, Jimbo, Cells, and Hollow. Hollow, good. Cells, good. I don't know Jimbo or Sib. I also don't know what organization they're playing under.
Jimbo is good.
Jimbo's good? I mean, I assumed he's good.
From watching him last year, yeah, he was.
Didn't he come up last year?
I mean, he would have had to. Last year was the opening door for a lot of people because they didn't have to play with pro players anymore.
Yeah, fair.
But I hope everybody on this at some point gets under a roster. Doug, if you're listening, hit me up. I'll get you under TFK.
You're...
LOL.